Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy you are here with me today because I have another soulful conversation I've been sprinkling throughout the podcast. People who have come into my life, into my orbit, who are making a beautiful impact. And today I'm welcoming a woman whose life story is a beautiful testament to faith, to resilience, and reinvention.
Mm.
And Tara Rowan and we met several years ago at a Beauty Boost event. It was a yoga class that I taught, and she was a bright light right away. She was the first person, I think, who said anything to me, like, "Are you Lisayogaangel?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." And she's so kind and such a huge heart right away that I saw in her, felt in her. And I'm so happy we stay connected. We stay connected through Instagram, and we've even connected in real life at her full-time job. But Tara's story is extraordinary, and I want to share with you her story and introduce her. So she began as a dedicated ballet dancer and went on to a professional career in musical theater, performing in Beauty and the Beast at MGM Studios before joining the European tour of 42nd Street. While in Italy, she met her husband, and 9 months later, they were married. Together, they spent years in Greece and Italy supporting his professional basketball career while raising and homeschooling their children. A wife of 33 years, a mother of five, Tara has experienced both profound joy and deep loss, including the birth and loss of their fifth child. Through every season, she has remained a community builder, certified holistic wellness expert, a woman of unwavering faith. Today, Tara is living proof that our greatest challenges can become the foundation for a life of purpose, peace, and abundance. And today we're going to talk to her as she's in a whole new chapter, sharing her passion for clean, conscious living through Arbonne, her deep faith, and her journey into thriving in midlife. So, welcome to the show, Tara. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We finally made this happen.
We did finally made this happen tremendously. So thank you for that beautiful
Oh
introduction.
my gosh, it's beautiful. And I learned about you. I did not realize you were a ballet dancer.
Yes. Yes.
So I always like to start. Can we go back to those days from a very young age in your home?
Mm.
We grew up the same time frame. I remember when I think about wellness and growing up, it's like we were the generation of, bologna sandwiches and white bread and, you know,
Campbell soup,
Cheetos. Yeah, canned
Doritos,
soup.
and chip dip.
And it just, listen, I'm one of five children, and my parents, they were working so hard and trying to provide. And I don't think health and wellness was not the focus like it is today, but ballet, being immersed in ballet at a very young age, how did those early years shape, who you've become and your wellness journey? What was it like?
It's so beautiful because I grew up in a smoking home.
Mm,
So in
my parents
Pittsburgh,
smoked too.
yeah. And when we think back to environmentally, I grew up in Pennsylvania in an industrial zone where I lived across from a steel mill. And people, my husband always says, when I would pass through your town, we would have to hold our noses and hold our breath because the
Mm,
stench was so awful. And my screens in my room were always black, and I had white furniture, and I was perpetually always wiping them clean. Well, this was what we were breathing in, not to mention secondhand smoke. And again, to be a ballerina, your body is the evolution to where you pass through into the next steps of any production. And you can't
right.
do it if you're ill. I was
Right.
very, very sickly growing up, as well as my brothers were.
Mm.
And our immune systems, looking back with all the knowledge I have, I can see where the doctors were trying to find a solution to this constant sinusitis, the histamine miscuing, taking our tonsils out, constantly, prescribing different, it was Sudafed. Sudafed was a prescription back then. And
Wow.
just constantly swelled, and ear infections, throat infections. For me, the gateway was ballet, because my mentorship began at a very young age. And being that my body was my craft, and I was with a touring company at 14 in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Our ballet theater had a Pittsburgh Ballet Theater. Their teachers branched off, a few of them, four of them, and they are now still running Civic Light Opera in Pittsburgh, still to this day. But they created a dance company that traveled, and I was part of that first company. And they took me underneath their wing, and they shared with me what I should be eating, not what my body was craving. And
Mm.
that was the first, we should eat to live, not live to eat. So
Yeah.
those very strong intentions, and they adored me. You could tell they adored me by the way they were constantly caring for me. So I had an early dismissal from high school, and I spent my whole entire day to the evening taking the trip home. I lived
Wow.
about a half an hour from downtown Pittsburgh, and I never thought about 1 second that it was a waste of time, or it was a sacrifice, not going to the high school parties, not participating
Yeah.
in after school activities. It was everything to me. And I knew I had the visions. I was given a vision of my husband. I knew about meditation. I knew I was very, very prayerful. My mom used to say at 3, she couldn't keep me out of church. I was just always constantly drawn to
Oh, I wanted to ask you about that. Yeah.
the
What did you
divinity.
grow up in the home with spirituality? So faith was a cornerstone.
My mom and my dad were uh, believed in God, but they didn't have the ability to make it a priority. And but with me, I was a constant little prick that was pricking them, saying, there's more, reach
Mm.
out, there's more. But it just wasn't received. It, and so when I went to college, I was able to, um, there was a person in our company who her mother was a professional ballerina and studied under an icon, Mavis Ray. And Mavis Ray was retiring at East Carolina University in North Carolina. And her mother came to me and said, Tara, you can make this a career. Are you ready? I want you to come to North Carolina with Sarah. I see you two living together in your dorm, getting an education, and everybody else in the company went to New York. They were thriving, they were doing incredible. But for Sarah's mom, who had already lived that life, she
Yeah.
wanted more for Sarah and wanted more for me. And she was a little guiding compass. And so we did. We went to the university. We auditioned. I was able to attain a scholarship again, miraculously, and we lived together. And Sarah was extremely honoring the Catholic religion and had a huge impression on me. And I did attend Catholic school,
Mm-hmm.
not by choice, but by uh, out of
Like
a
where you lived.
necessity. Where I
Yeah.
lived
The
was out of
location. Mm-hmm.
necessity. And my parents couldn't afford to send me there. So not only was I instructing others in ballet and taking nonstop classes throughout the day, but at night, and this blows my mind to this day, I worked in the middle of the night. I would come in and clock in. I had a clock in
Oh
in
my
the
gosh.
janitor's office, and it was a closet. It wasn't an office. It was a closet outside the cafeteria. And I would clock in and work and paint. And the next few hours later, someone would say in our French class, I think so. I think our classroom got painted. And I'm sitting there, yeah, because I was the one that painted it. I'm
Oh my
thinking to
gosh.
myself, if anyone ever would find out, right? And then one day we were standing in line for lunch, and somebody got my time card out of the janitor's closet
Oh
and said, "Why
gosh.
is your name on here? Why is your name on here?
Why are you doing this?
Why are you doing
Oh
this?"
my
So
gosh.
I, from a very young age, I had scarcity to work off that huge tuition. That scarcity mindset was something that was always knocking on my door. And I
Mm,
really, honestly, Lisa, haven't dealt with it until the last 2 years. It is just the last 2 years that I was able to change the neuroplasticities of my brain to say,
right.
no,
Yeah.
you are a child of the most high living God. You will become all you were created to be, but you gotta undo the labels that are inside of you, because if somebody cuts you up in the middle, they're not going to see those labels.
Mm,
So let them go.
yeah, I have full body chills.
And you have to let them go. But how do you do that? And so I looked for a life coach. I saw the work that they were doing, and I said, no better person to do it than my creator. So I rewrote my life story,
I love
and
that.
I listened to it on a free app 3 times a day. I
Mm-hmm.
did sets just like a workout,
Yep.
and I listened to it all night long as I slept. And I still do that to this day. I have different tabs, and it has completely reinvented me. I really do feel like when I was listening to your intro, I have 9 lives, no doubt.
Yes. I mean, because then you went on to Beauty and the Beast. That had to
Did
be amazing.
this is
How old were you when you did that?
I was 20. I
Wow.
I had worked for MGM Studios. I had performed in college. I was a performer for King's Dominion.
Mm,
They had an incredible theater that was full scale. Their costume designers, their set designers, their lighting. It was the best, and that's where I really caught the ability to know that I could make this a professional career, musical theater. I had performed in a chorus line in college as a freshman. I played Judy Turner, and I knew that ballet was just a stepping stone into what I could do. I didn't know what I really could do.
right.
And our that theater department in East Carolina University is still a mecca for performers. It is an incredible springboard into entertainment. And I love that really my class in 1990,
Mm-hmm.
1984 to 90 really did curate that. We really did put East Carolina on the map. And a lot of us really did amazing things. Sandra Bullock was one of the proteges of East Carolina University. There was
Okay.
also a theater, very intense 2-year program, the Meisner technique. And while I was performing at King's Dominion, my second year with them, I had a terrible ankle injury.
Oh,
So, well, it was a blessing, because then the acting teacher who had this professional program at our university said, Tara, I want you to audition. We take 14. I think that this would be a great step in your ladder for your ascension in entertainment. And I think it's a necessity.
yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And then I did Rainmaker. Rainmaker is a one woman cast with men. And so that ankle injury really did unfold a beautiful part of musical theater, because as a triple threat, dancing, singing, acting,
Right.
you gain the confidence from experience, from falling forward, right? And this is so fascinating. But the day before opening night with Rainmaker, I lost my voice. We know the body holds trauma, right?
Oh my gosh, isn't that something?
And
Yes.
I knew I had to speak.
Ugh.
No one ever told me, but I knew I had to speak to my own body and tell her, you're okay, you're
Mm.
safe, you're protected, all is well. You're going to step out on that stage and you're going to be everyone, everything that you were created to be. And it came true. It was amazing. My voice came back when it needed to come back. And from that point on, I was I auditioned for MGM and I did Hollywood for them, and I did Hollywood's Pretty Women with them. And we had just released that new show. And Michael Eisner decided, I love the new show, but I have a vision of bringing a movie to the cinema and having a live stage show released on the same day. And that's what we did. So we were performing Hollywood's Pretty Women by day, but at
Wow.
night, and here comes all my experience with working at night, right? Painting the high school. Here it comes this gypsy now working all night long. So we had a trailer of our 10 makeup sets, our setting, our backstage, and we slept underneath our makeup mirror. We had like a little
Oh my gosh.
whenever we could. And we performed during the day. They brought out the big lights at night and we learned the show as Salt Lake City, Utah was creating the music. The first time it was FedEx to our studios and the director, the choreographer, everyone heard the music for the first time together.
Wow.
And to get that production up and running, we didn't have time. Our costume designers didn't have time to make extra copies. So we went on stage with the samples. I mean, my one gown was like $75,000. I was performing shows, and there was not enough time to make a copy.
Wow.
So from that, I auditioned and landed 42nd Street.
42nd
So
Street. Is that what brought you to Italy?
yes. So we went to New York. We got our costume fittings at Capezio, and then we opened in Rome around Easter in 1991. And that is really a highlight of my life. We performed in East Berlin, West Berlin, like I said, Rome, and uh, just throughout Germany. And when I met my husband in Venice, that's when everything unfolded to know
Mm.
I I really I knew that life was going to step again in a different
That
direction.
was a turning point.
It was another
He was
portion
meant to
of
come into your life.
he was.
Yeah.
He was.
And when you met him, he was playing basketball or no?
He
He
was. He
was.
was. He was playing professional basketball. But what actually happened was there, as I was instructing others in ballet at a studio at 14, there was a child who had a blood immunology and she was compromised. And she, at that point, could not be any longer in the class. So her mother asked me to teach her privately. So obviously, we had an incredible relationship, and she's still like my mother today.
Oh,
And that was a lot. That's a lot of years. I'm, going to be 58. But uh, Kara, mother, had my headshot on her desk, and my husband had an uncle who worked in that office at a car dealership. My
oh,
my husband was a professional basketball player in the NBA, but he went to have a career in Italy. So he was on his off season and came in to buy a car from his uncle, saw my photo and said, "Oh, who is that?" And my
I love it.
he said,
So
"I'm going
sweet.
to introduce you, but she works in Italy." And my husband said, "I work in Italy. I need her phone number." So he started calling me and we talked for a good 6 months before he actually came. He was supposed to come see me in Munich, where our show was in Munich,
Right.
and he didn't show up. And what happened was his dad had emergency bypass. And so back then there wasn't cell phones, right? There was no way to
Right.
communicate in an instant. So you had to wait. It was a
Yeah.
lot of waiting, right? Less
Yes.
taking time to get back to you and all the things. So then I learned that his dad was okay. He reconnected with me. He said, "Where are you now?" "I'm in Venice." He said, "I'll meet you there." He did. And the rest is history. It was literally love at first sight. I knew that he was meant for me. And interesting enough,
I love
I
it.
had I had been hired in Crazy for You, which was a new Susan Stroman musical, and I was going to New York City. I was leaving 42nd Street to go to New York City when my mom dropped me off at the airport. I bought a first class ticket to Rome, and that could have been so, so bad. But
Oh my
it
gosh.
worked out so good because I said, "Can you come pick me up?" And he did. Um,
Wow.
and everything has, 33 years later, we're thriving through all the loss and the gains and everything in between.
Blessings. Yeah. And like that's how it happens. Like life has these turning points and you just know, okay, this is meant for me. This person's meant for me. This opportunity is meant for me. And then you flourish and you had 5 children
Yes. Yes.
and so you've experienced incredible joys and
Incredible.
and loss
Yes.
in your life. And so when you look back on the toughest times, how did you find because so many people go through things in life, life is going to happen. I always say it's like the ocean, it's not one big upward trajectory. We have bumps and we have challenges and we have loss and we have grief and we have how did you find purpose in those challenging moments, the most painful chapters, in life?
We never really think that we're strong enough, right?
No, we sure don't.
We don't think that. And when my husband was still working in Italy, I came back, you know, 9 months pregnant. Again, so stupid, but nobody had the knowledge that nobody would ever have said, "That's not a good idea, Tara." And I was so small that I did it. I knew wasn't going to have our baby
Mm,
in Italy. Again, smoking, lots of incidences. There was so much going on in a surgical hospital. You knew you didn't want to be part of that. And
yeah,
I wasn't had I had a strong intuitiveness that I wanted a natural birth, and I created a birth plan. And when I look at that birth plan, I was light years away from any mindset that I didn't have anybody like that. It was all inspired. My whole life was really directed from angels. That's all I can say, because where was I getting this
I believe
information
it.
at, right?
Full body chills.
It's so true. And
Yes.
there wasn't anything to Google. You were at the library. Who was I talking to? I was literally alone in this world. Unfortunately, when my mom and dad, um, after I married, my parents just disowned me. They really couldn't come to grasp with the Tara that never wanted to be married, never wanted to have children, was professionally at the height of her career. And why would I just give all that up to be married and have children?
Wow.
And still to this day, they are not interested in being part of our lives.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
And being pregnant for the first time, um, that that dealing with that kind of trauma,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
to be able to be in a mindset to deliver a baby into this world, of course, that whole experience um, was a shift. With Ron being in Italy, I did sequester a midwife. And in the end, it was the birth exactly what I had planned for, mentally saw, and she was delivered on my birth date. What a gift.
Oh my gosh.
So, with the next
Wow.
three boys that came to us, what a blessing. I had the experience again, no IVs, no medical intervention. The deliveries were always so interesting. The fourth child, the doctor actually walked out of the hospital and said, out of the room and said, I will not be part of this. Again, I could feel the enhancement of a room of angels. I got you. Don't you worry. He may have left you. Your mom and dad may have abandoned you,
Mm,
but you are not abandoned. I've got you in the palm of my hands. And the delivery was a success. And when Mason was born, that's our third son, fourth child, the labor nurse looked at me and said, you labor like a champ. I was given a vision. You are going to be back again. And I said, oh no, I'm done. Ironically, my um, third child is very spiritually gifted. We all are.
mm-hmm.
But in the bathtub one day, he said to me, you are to have a baby and name her Catherine. Well, how many 4-year-olds talk like that?
Right.
Right. And Mylan and Mason, that third and fourth child, were in sync. They would look to the right at the same time. They would laugh together. I knew the angels were just encapsulating our household. You know, the birds would come and just chirp 24 hours a day and not leave the windows. And my husband would say, it's not, I don't know what it is, but it's not their reflection. They have a message to say.
Yeah.
And it was a finch. It was a finch. And most beautifully, I did find out that I was pregnant. So
Wow.
on this fifth child, I knew it was a girl, right? I knew it was going to be a girl. I knew that we were going to name her Catherine. And at 20 weeks, um, the doctor who walked out on the delivery of Mason, that fourth child, delivered the news like this. He said, I'm going to hit you with a 2x4. Are you ready? And he
Wow.
said, your baby's not a baby. Your baby has trisomy 18 and has spinal bifida. And I'm going to send you to Pittsburgh for a medical abortion. I was 20 weeks pregnant. And
Oh my God.
I sat there and he said, would you like to call? And just as a matter of fact, right? And
Right.
what do you do when you have that kind of energy? Of course, I called upon the angels to deliver, and I could just feel Mother Mary there with me. And I could feel the white light around me. And I asked for that white light to be so impermeable that not a soul of aggression could come near me. And and I did call my husband. He did come to get me. We did make it to McGee Women's Hospital in Pittsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
where I had the opportunity to. He was a monster. He exactly said the same words as this doctor, and
Terrible.
he said, and the nurse actually had a vibration the same, and she said, "This is why." Medical abortions should be able to be administered the same day as a diagnosis because you have to suffer now. And I said, oh, I'm not going to suffer. I said, I'm not suffering. I
Mm-mm.
said, my husband and I created with obviously with God. God created 5 incredible souls for
Yeah.
us,
Mm-hmm.
and we will deliver this fifth soul just as the 4 others. And they said that's not physically possible. And let us leave. And my OBGYN who delivered 2 of our children called me and said, I heard you still have to follow up with the medical abortion doctor, but I heard and I know you, and you will deliver this baby. And whether it's at 22 weeks or 40 weeks, you will do it. And
Mm-hmm.
I will be your guide. You can come last appointment of the day. You will just see me and all will be well. And that's what happened. I was making Thanksgiving dinner for my family. I was 40 weeks. The other four, my bag of water never broke.
Wow.
And of course, I never intervened. Um, like I said, it was all a natural birth. But this time, as I was walking into the hospital to deliver a mantle, um, my water broke. And
Mm.
unfortunately, 2 weeks before that, 11/11/2024, a cardinal came to the window, and I knew something had gone wrong. And I called Mark Foos, my doctor, and I said, I need to be seen. It meant our baby did pass, and he encouraged me to wait for my body to deliver because he was
Right.
full term. And so we did. So on Thanksgiving Day, how incredible that my water broke. I went to the hospital, delivered him, and it was not a girl, but he was delivered on Thanksgiving Day, 11/24/2024, which was the feast day of St. Catherine. So my son said, "You are to name her Catherine," but
Wow.
I believe that she was our spiritual guide through this through the 40 weeks.
So this just happened in 2024?
Right. No,
Okay.
11/24/2011.
Okay. Okay. 2011.
11/24.
I was like, wait a minute, Tara.
Yes,
Okay,
2011.
2011. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so
Wow.
he passed 11/11/2011.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, I believe in signs and I
That's
love
incredible.
like to hear your deep faith. I feel like people need to hear this and I've been speaking about it, on recent episodes, this message coming through of what faith really is,
That's
and it really is trusting with your whole heart, just like you said before. I mean, I literally have chills all over my body when we're talking, that you are never alone
never
and
alone.
that you are held
You were
in
held.
every circumstance. You will be given the strength, the guidance, the direction, and we have the opportunity and the ability to ask, to pray. Like,
Who
I feel
asked
like people forget
to ask?
your angels and God, the Holy Spirit. This is the language I use, Jesus, they want to hear from you. You have communication. It is a relationship. And I know, faith is it's such a personal journey, but I feel like more and more people need to understand that you're never alone. And if you have that, what comes with that is exactly what you have, that strength and that resilience to then go through the low time, the challenging time, the painful moments of our life with resilience, with strength, with faith. And then from those moments, what emerges is something beautiful. You find purpose. You can help someone else. You have a deeper love for your own family, for the people who've been placed in your life, and your faith deepens because you're like, wow, I got through that.
I
I feel like it's missing from so many people in this world when you walk around life, right? And I know you have your full-time job all day long. You can see people where, and I always say it this way, it's like you look at them, the light is not on. The light is missing. It's it's filled with doubt, it's filled with fear, and I love having these conversations because I just think they
Riveting.
can ignite, put that spark back, let somebody get curious. What is this? Let me buy this book. Let me go to that church. It's like your garden. I always say, like, our faith is like a garden. You have to nourish it. You have to keep nourishing it, watering it, and you're such a testimony of that. Do you have, many women listening are going through their own challenges right now. Very some, I call it there's small trauma and then there's big trauma, right? It all matters. Everything matters. Do you have do you have a daily spiritual practice or any daily little rituals or things to bring you back to your center or remind you, hey, I have this faith, I'm held. Do you have
Do
any daily practices or beliefs that maybe help you stay anchored, in your faith?
I do. I had in when I was in high school, I told you I went to a Catholic school and I was so against the Catholic religion. I just it just really was unsettling to me.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was, like you mentioned, we raised for a few years our children throughout Europe, and one of them was we lived in Thessaloniki, Greece, where the Book of Thessalonians was written, and a church that I used to walk into, it was very, very uplifting. Um, but that year, it it really it really tore me apart because I saw the Armenians. I had never experienced this before. Just the gypsies were just laying their infants on the pavement on gravel. And at the stoplights, I would be there driving my car and having my 3-year-old and 1-year-old in the car with me. When you're a mother, it's everything is different. It's just you see it through your children's eyes. And I was running late, and there was a field that I knew I could get back home so my husband could get the car and get to his practice on time. I didn't realize it was a muddy field. I didn't realize that it had downpoured. And Lisa, when I went in that field, I was stuck and I had Armenians all around me. And the fear that overtook my body,
Mm.
that was the most fearful I have ever been in my life to this day. I've not had experienced that fear like I did in that moment. I was in trouble,
Ah.
in deep, deep trouble. And I cried out to Mother Mary. I had not, I had never even prayed the rosary in my life. When I tell you, there was like a suction cup that hit the top of our car, and we flew through that field. And you know me, I'm an integral woman. I am not making this up. She delivered us. I remember screaming out, Mother Mary, help me now.
Mm.
And we got to the road and we got home, and my husband said, where did you take this car? It was just, we couldn't see anything. The wheels were just spinning so much. I'm like, just get to work, just get to work. I'll tell you about it when you come home.
Yeah.
That was changed me forever. I pray the rosary daily. I call upon Mother Mary to be the mother that is not in physical part of my life, to show me her ways, to prune me, to enlighten me. I read the Bible every single day. I put my forehead on a tree every single day. I allow the roots of the tree to heal my body, to heal my soul, to help me forgive myself for what I have done wrong, physically, thought, done, words. I take the walk. I live near a spillway. I get to the water. I have a morning ritual of what I consume. And I believe that we are what we eat.
Mm,
And my vibration of what I want for myself and desire for my children and their children's children, it's a necessity to put everything in order to be able to deliver consistency every single day. Consistency that I owe for all the gifts of grace that I received. The reason why I can acknowledge others and really love them, strangers, is
yeah.
because I know that that's my calling. My calling is to help with others transform.
Yes, you're answering God's call. And I love that. I call it Mondays with Mary
Mm,
when I pray my rosary. So I connect with you on that.
unbelievable.
I call it Mondays with Mary. Yeah, I love that. But let's as we're talking about food and wellness, tell me about Arbonne. How did
Oh,
Arbonne come into your life?
yes.
And I read more about it and I learned, I didn't know. I'm like, oh, Arbonne is a little town in Switzerland. I didn't know that.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's where the company 46 years ago um, was the idea came from, wanting to be conscious, connected, and pure. They were essentially one of the very first clean companies that really delved deep into makeup and skincare. But as the years, decades, evolved, um, had internal supplements. And I raised my children with Shackley, and because of my ballet instructor in college, Mavis Ray, she was the one that taught me about supplementation and the need, acupuncture, and chiropractic care. And so whole body wellness started there, and then I carried it through. So fortunately, because of my incredible mentorship, my children grew up with not vaccinating, um, bone broth,
Hmm.
making my own yogurt, making my own kefir, supplementation, no antibiotics, um, using colloidal silver from a different company, Nature's Sunshine. That 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 whole everything that is known as MLMs, but couldn't be further from the truth. Again, it's just a fear tactic to make you stay away from these companies because these are the companies that we should embrace. And I have embraced these companies our whole existence. And
Yes.
therefore, my children are able to speak about health and wellness from that standpoint instead of having a file of thickness from ear infections and all the things. um, they have a testimony of always pushing the needle forward for what else can we do?
Right.
How else can we respond to this malady? And what you said was so true about trauma, because when our body and our mind experiences, even like maybe someone speaking to us in a condescending way at work, I've noticed that those triggers, it's very deep. So if we don't do the work to go back and find what made that member in the warehouse, why did I have such a strong reaction to that? What's the matter with me? It's not
Yeah.
what's the matter with me. It's what needs to be visited to take the time. So I think the most important work, Lisa, to answer your question, is sitting, seeing it, going back, changing the story, opening up my eyes, and coming through to say, that's not going to happen again. I'm
Right.
not going to be triggered like that again. The world needs better than that.
Self-awareness. Yeah.
Self,
Self-awareness is
yeah,
key. And it is a
go on.
reflection. Ask, and I always say, in relationships, right? Our partners are our mirrors. And then you go out in life and
I agree.
everyone is your mirror. Every
I agree.
situation is your mirror. And I always try to encourage people, pause during those moments where something, you know, ticks you off, or like you said, somebody's triggering you, that's when it's time to go, wait a minute, what is this teaching me, or what is this showing me within
Yes.
myself
Yes.
that I still need to kind of work on
Work
or
through,
look at or acknowledge, integrate, and, heal,
heal.
you
Right.
know?
So I can springboard and heal more.
Mm-hmm.
But to answer your question, Beauty Counter was the makeup company. There was a B corporation that my daughter and I used and built a very successful business.
I remember you sharing the beauty counter, but then
Yes,
something happened.
yes. So they um, unfortunately went under. And
Okay.
when that happened, my daughter had been using Arbonne product supplements for her and her husband, who is a professional basketball player.
Oh my
She
gosh, that's
he
crazy.
right he was using Celsius and Monster drinks and Red Bull, and she was like, no, we don't go to this extent every day for you to have the energy for these pre-workouts and getting through your basketball games with something like that. I'm going to find better. And
Mm-hmm.
so she found Arbonne and had been using Arbonne for a long time, 6 months. And my dog is he discovered that where I was, and he's like, you need to let me come out. Can you hear him barking?
Again, he's
No.
like, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna move this over so I can let him
Yeah.
join me. So
Yeah.
he had been using Arbonne and said, Mom, I'm going to I'm going to I'm going to do Arbonne. I believe that you are Arbonne with all of your knowledge that you have. This is something for you to take to a whole nother level because it's not just makeup, Mom. You love to help others transform. And so I did. We pivoted. A lot of people back then didn't know what to do with their clients,
I
with their
bet.
businesses that they built. And I will tell you this, nobody came with me. I built from the bottom, and here we are today, at the third level of Arbonne. And I couldn't be more happy. I've built a legacy business. When you're at when you are an area manager,
Mm-hmm.
you have the ability. It's halfway through our compensation plan. It's everything that you build is handed down to your generations, to your children and their children's children. I love the fact that the opportunity for Arbonne is our best product because in this world, nobody has the belly to belly conversations. And that's what people are missing. They're missing, they don't want to text. They don't want it. It's not about a product. It's
Yeah.
about, and I think this is the reason why I have the success that I do, because when I'm somebody's saying yes to a cleanse, they're not just getting the cleanse, they're getting me. They're getting the FaceTimes if they don't live near me. They're getting the handheld. They're doing the work. I'm
And
showing
that human
them.
connection
Yes, they're getting
is
all of
needed.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so they're able to have the results and then some with MS and Parkinson's and Lyme's. And it's been an incredible opportunity to be a catalyst in others' lives that I love my life. And I
It's
can always
beautiful.
say that I did, after the loss of Mantle, I was like, I'm done. I really
Mm-hmm.
like this is enough for me. Like I
Yeah.
just didn't really have a foothold in anything. I literally was just like floating in the world saying, I
What
gotta
am I
go.
doing?
2 days later, I had to teach a Sunday school class. Like, ah, this is just not, I can't do this anymore.
Hmm.
So I'm so thankful that I'm still here and I'm still pushing the needle forward. I'm still falling forward. And
Oh, yes. You're a bright light, and it's so true that when you find something that is so fulfilling,
yes,
and what is it? Service.
service, a heart service.
It's a heartfelt
Heart,
service, and
yes.
you are sharing your gifts. You're
Oh,
sharing what God has given you, helping others. To me, it's like that is the cornerstone of, a blessed, grateful, fulfilling life. It's when you give back. I
Yes.
always ask people who are struggling, with anxiety and stress or depression, I don't take that lightly, but I always ask, how are you giving back?
Yes. I agree.
Let's
I
get the focus off of us.
yes.
And
Yes.
you were given a gift that
Yes.
somebody needs.
Yes.
And I think it's opening up to that and letting life kind of guide you and direct you. And then you have found that way that you're serving and helping people. And there's nothing more fulfilling than that. And it shows. You're a
Ah,
bright light. I think you are an earth angel, Tara,
thank you, Lisa.
on this earth. And I'm so grateful that we connected and that we've stayed in touch and we will stay in
Always.
touch. Like so many parallels as you're talking. I'm like, yep, yep. I'm just feel very grateful and blessed that we connected. I want, what's your favorite product of Arbonne?
Oh, I always
Is there
leave
just too many to name?
our 7-day fresh start cleanse. It's a
Okay.
genius streamlined product that just uses 3 products, and I coach and mentor
Hmm.
my client through the 7 days. And of course, the work that we do before, obviously during the 7 days and
Hmm.
after. And then for for us, we all understand busy. And so it's, of course, I've raised my children juicing, 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 all the things, but I was like making myself late all the time to work. It's cleanup, the exhaustion of
Oh,
my
I know. The juicing cleanup is no joke.
is no joke.
Yeah. I went through that.
And for us, Arbonne is the easy button. It's the button that I can just rip, pour out the morning matcha. It goes effortlessly wherever you are. So I am able to introduce products that anybody in any career, whether you're a heart surgeon or a teacher or a
Hmm.
stay-at-home mom, we got you. And our
I love
policy,
it.
yeah, we got you. We see you, you're seen, you're heard. You're not going to be given a product and, that's it. It's not about sales. I love sales because sales is solutions.
Hmm.
That's why I am in place at Costco, but I don't earn a commission at Costco. And,
Right.
for so many of my years, I was giving away our Silver Shield. I was giving away products and supplements. And this is the time in my life where no, I've earned. I'm not going to overcompensate. I'm not going to give you more. I'm giving you the best that I have, and I don't feel guilty about it.
Right.
I don't
Right.
feel like I have to overcompensate. I love where I'm at, and I love what I can offer you, and I'm ready to help you move forward.
Ah, I can't wait to dive in. I'm going to put all of the links that
Oh,
we can in the show notes so people can check out Arbonne and work with you. I'm
oh,
definitely interested in that 7 day fast because or cleanse because I did what was it in January? I think I did a 3 day fast, but it was a little too much. I didn't give myself enough electrolytes, and so by
mm,
day 3 I was not feeling good. I was like shaking and
no.
my body was like, "What are you doing to me?" And I knew it was because I didn't have the proper amount of electrolytes and all of that. I'm gonna look into that, but to end with today, Tara, I'm all about self love and faith. What is Tara doing today along with Arbonne products, right? You do your cleanses and what other kind of products? What are your self-love rituals? Like, do you cold
Mm,
plunge? Are
mm.
you red lighting? Are
Oh God,
you
yes.
going to the spa? Like, what are your little self-love, things that you're really into right now?
I have always been into red light therapy, and
Me
I am
too.
an affiliate with Therasage. And I always am into grounding. That's been always a part of my day. Lymphatic drainage. I have my husband and I do a lymphatic drainage routine after our morning walk. But the grounding for
Mm.
some people is just, it's not they just don't have the capacity to do. They don't live near the ocean, and
Yeah,
I'm not saying I get to the ocean every day because
right,
that's not factual.
right.
But I have even on my breaks and my lunch times at Costco, everyone knows I'm going to the tree. My shoes will be off.
Oh, I
I'm
love that.
not hanging out in the break room. I'm outside. They always say, "Are you going outside to get the stunk blown off of you?" I'm like, I'm going outside so that I can come back inside and be the best person I possibly can be.
I love it.
But I also am an affiliate for Ultimate Longevity and profound results for my clients from plantar fasciitis. It reduces inflammation to the it's revolutionary. So we have a grounding mat, grounding pillowcase. My dog sleeps on a grounding pillowcase on his bed, and it removes the positive ions from your body and restores you just like you all night long. It's an incredible technology.
Oh, we
Um,
got to put all these links in the show notes. I'm going to get all the links, everyone, because I want that grounding pillowcase.
and really the testimonials are so profound that I always, I mean, I love to lead with Arbonne because it is, I love skincare. I love clean makeup. And we just in this society know that what we're dousing ourselves with and it's an easy open conversation. And then you can dive deeper into so all those chemicals that you've been living with inside your cells. How would you like to consider? Let's talk through a 7-day fresh start. And I always offer that spring, summer, winter, and fall on a full moon. So,
Oh, good, good,
you
good,
know,
good.
at the end of June, we
Use
can
your
definitely,
astrology. I love it.
yes, we can really help you maximize a full release for you and a full step into a new um, medical springboard by doing that at the end of June with that full moon and utilizing the grounding mat and the red light therapy. I mean, it's not revolutionary because it's been around forever, but it is revolutionary when someone has heard it for the very first time and you don't know
Sure.
where to start. So working with someone like me gives you the ability to break it down and let's look at your budget and see what is of most concerning for you. And we move from there.
I love it. And it's working for you because you're shining, you're glowing, you're beautiful inside and out.
Thank you, Lisa.
And
Like,
so I'm going to put, for everyone listening, I'm going to have all these awesome links in the show notes so you can reach out and work with Tara.
that's
Check
phenomenal.
out Arbonne. Yes.
Longevity
For
and
longevity,
everything.
wellness, because it is working.
I
This
actually
works.
love the red light therapy pad that
I
I
do too.
have that I have a long drive to work and that is my time where I'm able
Mm,
to utilize that red light. I turn my car into just a little red light haven and
that is such a good idea. Oh my
yes.
gosh.
And I've been
Awesome.
using copper vessels and
Mm-hmm.
I'm right now praying that I can offer my clients a link with Clio. That should be within a few days, and I will lovingly share that with you because copper, everyone's deficient, and that's
Yeah.
really made a big difference for my health with varicose veins by
Mm-hmm.
drinking out of a copper vessel every single day. So
Ooh, I love these are good tips.
yes, and just having copper in your home, it is profound.
Oh wow. I'm sitting here thinking, where do I have copper? And we have a little I have a little copper water to water the plants. It's a
Yes,
beautiful little, you know, what do you call
this
that?
company you can have a copper basin and then on a full moon you can fill it up and let the moonlight charge it, bring it back into your home, and then you charge it all night long, so when you wake up in the morning your copper water bottle is ready to nourish your body and you will feel the electricity. So even at work when I'm driving on that hour drive, if I woke up with like a crick in my neck, I can put
Mm-hmm.
that copper water bottle on the back of my neck as I'm driving, and by the time I get to work it's gone. It's amazing.
I love it.
They're electrical, and for us utilizing the tools that have been given to us, but
Mm-hmm.
you just don't know until you know.
You don't know until you know. So everybody click the links and work with Tara. And
Thank you.
I just thank you so much for your time today. I'm so happy I got to talk with you and share you with the world.
Oh,
It's
you're
been
tremendous.
long overdue.
It's
And we'll do this again. Maybe we're going to have a part two.
I would love that. That sounds amazing. I
Okay.
think we need to take the part two offline and you come to my home or I come to your home and we
Right? I
I'll
think so.
retreat.
We'll
I'll
share all
retreat.
more tips because I love it.
Lisa, have a blessed
Thank
day. You
you.
really thank you for
Thank
the
you.
blessings that you poured into me today. And
Oh,
it
I
was
feel the
such an
same.
honor to be in
Thank
your
you.
presence.
I feel the same way. I'll talk to you real soon.
Have the best day ever.
You too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.